Hi friends, and welcome to a 24-hour reading vlog. What is the point of the story? And I am eating it up. I still feel like I could have done a lot better with this challenge. A bunch of things happened, but I just need a break. Start. I have only attempted to do this one time before, and that was last year, last October. I did the timer method where I set a timer for 24 hours. It was going while I read, and whenever I stopped reading, I paused it. I thought that it would take me a few days. It ended up taking me like a week. We are not doing a repeat of that this time. I am being much more intentional and planned out a lot to do this. I actually wanted to film this last month, but I wasn't able to block out the time like I wanted. We are back, and we're gonna try this again. I am still gonna do the timer method. I'm really excited because I'm in such a reading mood and I just want to binge a whole bunch of books, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm not sure what exactly we're going to get to reading, but I have a lot of good contenders on my October TBR that I'm very excited for. I also have some books that I borrowed from the library, and I have some books on Libby that I also borrowed on the library, but those are ebooks and audiobooks. We have lots and lots of options. If I'm being completely transparent, I just wanted to make sure that I filmed this intro, but I haven't decided if I'm going to officially start this challenge tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm trying to think smart here and also balance some little work things and stuff, so it'll be a bit for me, but it's the next clip for you. I'll see you when we officially start the timer. Okay, hello. As you can tell, it's the next day. I am ready. I've picked what we're going to read next, and I even finished up the arc that I was reading yesterday, so it worked out perfectly, and I even have the uniform on. Hot girls read! The first book that we're going to be reading is My Libby Loan, and that's Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is the second book to Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, which kind of took booktok by storm, and I know people really love that book. I did very much enjoy it. I am team, I don't know why or how we needed a second book. I'm here to read it nonetheless. I actually have never read the official blurb. Wait, okay, I just officially read the whole blurb for the first time. This has potential to get me. This one we continue to follow Wes and Liz. I've heard that Better Than the Movies is Liz's story, and this one is Wes's story. I'm very excited because something happens and they end up breaking up, and now they're in college. I think that this is gonna end up kind of like Wes pining for Liz again and having to like grovel and get her back. I also have an audiobook from Libby as well, which is Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. I haven't started that one yet, but in any times that I need to be doing things, I have a few things that I need to do for my small business today, so I'll be listening to that, and then probably tomorrow, like when I'm getting ready and stuff, you know, fill the time with audiobook when I can. The only thing that I didn't think about is the fact that tonight the Mets play, and that's prime time where I would have gotten a good chunk of reading done will be when the game is on. And I usually do read while the game is on, but obviously I'm not locked into reading. That wasn't very smart of me, but that's just how this filming schedule is working out. So we'll have to make do with that, and I'll probably be pausing and starting the timer really weirdly a bunch tonight, but that's okay, that's a problem for me. But it's officially time to start the timer. We have our timer set to go. Start. Let's get reading. There we go. Now it looks pretty good. I do want to share, if you don't know Lynn Painter and you don't know her writing, I just love all the pop culture and fangirl things that she adds to her books. In this one and Better Than the Movies, there's so much about rom-coms because Liz loves rom-coms, and each chapter starts out with a quote from one. But I also just love the things that she includes. Like, I just underlined, Ever Since New York played in my AirPods, an underrated Harry song, and also, in my opinion, a total slice of autumn. Which I just completely agree with, and I don't know, it's just always fun to have those little bits in the books. Okay, a lot of stuff has happened since we last talked, and what's crazy is that I'm pretty sure the last clip I was talking about Harry and how the book mentioned a Harry Styles song, and since I got to that part it has mentioned 2 Niall songs since then, and it's just eerily crazy. Very strange coincidence. This doesn't have to do with the video, but it impacted my reading, and it just feels very weird to me to just skip over this or just like keep going and not somewhat address it. I think because my start on YouTube and honestly just social media, it was making Justin Bieber and One Direction videos, so it feels very weird to just like go on. But I was reading last night and a Discord that I'm in started going off a bunch, and it reminded me that I needed to fill in this form for the Discord. Anyway, paused my timer, I looked at what they were talking about, and that's how I found out that Liam Payne from One Direction passed away. It's a lot of just complex emotions. I won't get into it for this video because it has nothing to do with it, but I have been a One Direction fan since the very beginning. That was going on. Obviously Unfortunately, after I found that out, continuing reading was not really the primary focus. I ate dinner, the Mets were playing, they lost. During that game, Hobie J-Hope from BTS was discharged from the military and his military service is over. So I was watching, celebrating that, and then he went live right before I was going to go to bed. So all of that just to say, a bunch of things happened. I feel like I went through so much in the past hours of last night. All of that to say that I did not read as much as I was wanting or hoping to. Yesterday, I did read a bit more this morning. The timer is now at 19 hours, 43 minutes, and 6 seconds. So we definitely have a lot of time still left to kill. I'm hoping to read a good chunk today. Updates of where I'm at in Nothing Like the Movies. I'm now 60% through the book. I think this book was a great choice for this readathon because it's just so easy to speed through and I didn't even realize how much I have read so far. I'm really enjoying it. This one is definitely more heavier and emotional, but there was still an emotional and grief element in Better Than the Movies. That was more with Liz and this one's more with Wes. Wes went through and is still going through something and we were watching it happen, but I'm also loving this story because I love Liz and Wes and I'm really excited for this like latter half of the book because it has to go away that I know I'm gonna eat up and really enjoy. I also did start the audiobook yesterday for Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. I'm now 25% through that book. I had some small business things to do, so I listened to that while I was working. This one, we follow a girl named Marlo, and she has kind of a freak accident where she lit a candle and it ended up exploding and causing a house fire, which kind of becomes known as that girl that started the house fire in her town. To escape and take a break from this, an opportunity arises for a summer job being a tour guide at this house on this island that hasn't been open for tours ever or in a really long time, and this is the first summer for that. The people that used to live there were very strange. It was a family, a guy, his wife, and they had 6 kids. I think most of them were adopted, maybe one they actually had, or all of them were adopted, and they were very obsessed with like eating healthy and digestion and just all this really weird stuff. They never really had people over, but also what draws the public to the house now, how a lot of the kids died. Marlo is going to accept this job living there on this island and doing these tours with these, I forgot how many other kids, like teens around her age, that are also tour guides. And where I left off yesterday, she just found out that she's taking the spot of one of their friends that also passed away. So a lot of mysterious, weird things going on here. Classic Maureen Johnson. I'm sure some storylines may overlap, which is also classic Maureen Johnson. And I obviously haven't gotten too far into this book. We are kind of just laying the foundations. There's also a dual timeline going on, so we're not only getting Marlo's and her story as the tour guide, but we're getting flashbacks to the kids in that family that used to live in the house. It's very interesting. However, I was doing this work before I got the news about Leo. I just don't think I'm gonna pick this one up, maybe for the rest of this video, just because as I shared, a huge element is how the kids passed away, and one of them is kind of eerily similar to what happened to Liam, and I just think I need to take a few days to not read that one, but it's definitely setting an interesting premise, and I haven't read a Maureen Johnson book in a really long time. I feel like that was a lot of updates to share, but I just had to keep it real with what is actually happening in real time. Obviously, I'm not gonna be reading for 19 hours today. We're not gonna be completing that. Hopefully we can knock off a good chunk and then finish it up tomorrow. My hope is to finish Nothing Like the Movies today. I think I know what book I'm gonna start after, but we'll talk about that when we get there. I think that I severely estimated how long 24 hours actually is, and I was in over my head thinking that I would be wrapping up the final hours at the point that we are now, because we are at 15 hours and 2 minutes left. I have not even made it halfway. To be fair, I also thought going into this that I would start very early in the morning and read all day, and it hasn't been working out as I hoped, and I really only start reading in like the afternoon. Also, didn't expect a lot of things that have happened this week to interfere with this video a little bit in my life. All that to say, we still have lots of reading to do. I thought we would be wrapping up the challenge today. I'm hoping to make a huge dent in the challenge today, and obviously I'm gonna have to continue this into the weekend because it's currently Friday, and we'll just see see what happens. I'm trying to have grace with myself. Last night I did finish Nothing Like the Movies. I think I'm gonna save all of my in-depth thoughts and ratings for the end of this video. One, to just save time so that way I'm not filming and talking a whole bunch, but two, because I feel like reading all these books like back to back a lot faster than I usually do. I want to give myself a second to like sit with my thoughts and what I really want to rate the book. I did really enjoy it. I'll talk more about it later. Then this morning I started The Storied Life of AJ Fikry. This is by Gabrielle Zevin, who wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This one follows, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that he was an old man. He's like 39. He's had a lot of stuff happen to him and his personality and stuff gives like grumpy old man, but he's only 39. He owns a bookstore and he also lives above it. He is experiencing grief and kind of dealing with everything around that. The timing of this, not great. Actually, both of these books, not to get sidetracked, but in Nothing Like the Movies, there was a scene where he climbed the balcony and just all the talk during it made total sense for the scene, but it was just so, I don't even know what word phrase I'm thinking of right now, but too close to everything that has happened. And then this one has a lot of grief and loss in it from the start. So it's just really, really great timing all around. But okay, so in the blurb it says a mysterious package arrives. I don't want to tell you what it is, even though I had been spoiled for what it is by somebody else's review of the book, but a mysterious package gets left for him after he has one of his most prized possessions, which was a short stories collection from Edgar Allan Poe. It was very rare and somebody steals it. This is under 300 pages. That's why I also thought it would be perfect to read during this challenge. And it's very interesting. It's obviously going to be very character driven. I just feel like this one's going to be emotional. It's going to tug on my heartstrings. So my hope is to finish this one today. And then I think I need just like a happy, fluffy, happily ever after, good time romance. This video has definitely been very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I had thoughts this morning of just scrapping this video, but we're gonna keep going because this is real life. At the end of the day, it's just a little entertaining YouTube video. Thing with this book is that there's a child in it. I believe she's supposed to be in kindergarten, and they do say that she's very intelligent, but this is just not how a child would speak, especially a child of this age. I understand that this is more just like a character, not study, well, I guess in a way, but it's just more, you know, like following the story, following the characters, character driven. But I just can't help but sit here like, what is the point of the story? I don't know. The further I get in the book, the more bizarre it becomes. I'm just sitting here like, is this one of those books where I have to like think and dissect and really, you know, it brings me back to school when you'd have to read for school and why people say they don't like reading because of how they make you read in school. And it's like, well, what do you think they're saying here? Because we follow so many different characters and something just happened. And I was like, what? And now we're at part 2. And why is it separated into different parts? Time for another check-in. The time on the timer is now 9 hours, 8 minutes, and 46 seconds. We are finally in single digits. Oh wow, this is taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. It's less time than last time, but it's still taking me a lot longer than I thought that it would. I am still reading Collide. I am 126 pages into this one now. I'm hoping that I can just like binge this whole entire thing. It's so easy breezy to read. Now that I've read some more, I can give you a bit more of a cohesive synopsis. So obviously it's a hockey romance. We follow Summer and Aiden. Aiden is the team hockey captain. He's stretching himself a bit thin with hockey and classes and everything. He also takes the blame for this party and stunt that the team is involved with, basically on the borderline facing probation, which he can't afford to do. To get him out of that, and while he's on thin ice, the agreement is that he needs to be the test subject, like the athlete and the involvement in Summer, our FMC's paper. I think to get into grad school, she has to do this research paper, and it's a very competitive program. So that's how they connect. Summer is very apprehensive about hockey players and hockey. We are kind of getting little breadcrumbs as to the reasons why that is, and I'm not gonna lie, this is giving all of the vibes of Icebreaker and the Maple Hill series, if you guys know that series, and I eat that up. I love a good classic hockey romance. It's everything that you would expect to find in a classic hockey romance, and I am eating it up. It was exactly what I needed at this moment as well, after everything that has happened this week and unintentionally the things that have happened in the books that I've also picked up this week. But that's my update for now. I feel like even what I filmed with this video probably sucks. Like, ugh, I'm just second guessing everything, but Hey guys, checking in. Although I just realized that I forgot my phone inside. So you're gonna have to trust me on this. But the timer, we have like 4 hours and something minutes. We're approaching the home stretch. I did finish Collide and I really enjoyed it. It is definitely Icebreaker Maple Hills series coded. If you love that series, you will love this book. And I'm very excited for the rest of the books in the series. I'm gonna be so real with you guys. I don't want to read right now. I give props to everyone that films this continuously because I love reading so much, but I just need a break for a second. I think I'm gonna give myself that break for maybe like an hour and then I'll read again before I go to sleep. So I'm kind of not succeeding and doing well with this challenge, but we're trying our best. 24-hour challenge is complete. The timer went off this morning. As you guys saw, I was reading while eating my breakfast and we completed the timer. I still feel like I could have done a lot better with this challenge, but we did improve from the last time because it didn't take me a week to complete this. But I still feel like I can improve, but that's okay. We'll just have to do it again. Let's go over all of the books that I read in this video and my ratings and thoughts. So we read 3 books and I am almost halfway through another, which I think is kind of crazy. Honestly, it was a lot more than I was expecting to read. We started off with Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This one I ended up giving 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one, but this one is most definitely for everyone that loves Liz and Wes. Everyone that loved Better Than the Movies and wants more time with these characters and seeing them grow and go to college and everything that Wes goes through. This is a bit heavier and emotional. Wes does go through a lot, but I love these characters, so I enjoyed spending time with them and watching them grow. And also I'm in like peak baseball love right now with baseball postseason, so I extra enjoyed all the baseball talk since Wes does play baseball. Then I read The Storied Life of AJ Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. It was just so very interesting. It's kind of one of those books where you follow, it's all in 3rd person and you follow all of these different characters and how their lives kind of interconnect. It is just one plot line, but there are also kind of multiple plot lines. I don't think I'm explaining that very well, but I love that aspect of it. And there was a reveal in here that I wasn't expecting. I don't know. I thought that it was going to be a lot more emotional and heartfelt and I was going to be more emotionally attached and invested than I actually was. But there was a ton of just book talk and someone that absolutely loves reading and everything, because AJ Fikry is absolutely obsessed with books and literature and everything. So that was nice, but also, I don't know. I kind of was expecting this book to be a little bit different or end, I guess, a little bit differently. But also, I guess, because I wasn't as emotionally involved, I could see how it could hit different for someone that was. And then I read Collide, which I ended up giving 4.5 stars. This one is Icebreaker. It is not the same book. That whole vibe of Icebreaker and the Maple Hills series is this one, and I eat it up. It is everything that you expect from a hockey romance book, and I eat that up every single time. I just will, you know, whatever. So I very much enjoyed this one. I loved our female main character, our male main character. Really loved their dynamic as well, because he was a bit sweet and golden retriever, but then also classic hockey guy. But she definitely, you know, like had a backbone and stuck up against our male main character, and she was very like sassy, and I love that. I'm very excited for the rest of the series. I think the next book comes out in 2025. I applied for the arc of it. Sadly, I was denied, but I'm very excited for it. And lastly, the book that I am currently in the middle of, I am 48% through this book. That is Catch and Keep. I had an arc for this. The book recently released a few days ago, so I knew that I needed to get to it, and I just thought, why not start it, pick it up. This is a romance book, and as the title may suggest, it kind of has this fishing lake element to it. So our female main character, I have no idea how to say her name, Maren. I'm realizing that I don't know how to say it out loud, but she grew up going to this lake and absolutely loves fishing. Was very good at it, had a very successful YouTube channel, kind of created this persona because of it for herself. Now she's 33 years old. She just ended her relationship and is kind of lost and confused, and was also left this bait shop that also has an apartment from this guy that was kind of, I guess you could think of him as like a grandpa figure to her. She also has a brother, and his best friend that owns the resort on this little like lake is still living there. He's now a single dad. He's divorced and he has 2 kids, and she goes back and kind of sees him. So it is brother's best friend, it is single dad, which is a trope that I've recently been eating up. So 2 tropes that I have really been enjoying, and this book is so fast to read. I'm just right in the story, breezing through it. I know nothing about fishing. I also have never been to a lake or a lake house. I don't really want to go swimming in a lake, but if you guys like all those elements, if you go to the lake, if you like boating, if you like fishing, all those elements are in here. But although I can't relate to any of them, I still don't mind, and I'm still still really enjoying this book. I think that it's gonna be cute. I think it's gonna be heartfelt, and his kids are also very cute too, and one of his kids is autistic, so the representation is very much there for that as well. Obviously, all my final thoughts, opinions, and rating for that one will be in my October wrap-up video. That is all for this challenge. Definitely did better than last time, but still very much can improve, but also did not expect half the things that happened this week to happen. So very strange mix of emotions, but nonetheless, we did succeed, and I did read for 24 hours, and we did better than last time. So that's all you can ask for. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.